Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk to you about handling expired objections because there's been several of you requesting that topic. More and more of you are seeing more expired listings in the last couple of months. It is 2021 and we know we've been in this crazy hot sellers market in most of the country for a while now. And even in a hot market, you still have expired listings, but it seems like there are more and more expireds coming up. And many of you have requested, can we talk about expired objections? So we're going to do that. I want to first, before we talk about expired objections on this training call, I want to share with you the importance of you calling expired listings every day. One of the things that I hear from agents a lot, almost on a regular basis, and I've been hearing it since I've been coaching real estate agents, which has been a long time, and it drives me crazy. I ask, are you calling expired listings? No, I don't have that many. How many do you have on a weekly basis? Oh, I don't know, maybe I don't know, 2 or 3 a day, it's not that many. Okay. Why aren't you calling the 2 or 3 that you have? Well, I don't know, I'm just focusing on something else since there aren't that many. And I want you to think about this. Expired listings is, in my opinion, the single easiest, best source of an immediate listing. Like, you walk into your office in the morning, you don't have a single lead, you have no idea where you could possibly take a listing, and you want one today. Who should you call? First calls you make, a new expired. Best source, better than a for sale by owner. I mean, FSBOs are incredible. Okay, I think anybody that knows me knows how much I love for sale by owners, but expireds are better. Why are they better? Because FSBOs are easier to talk to. Expireds will hang up on you way faster than for sale by owners will. And I know that all of you know that because you're prospectors. You know the importance of looking for people that want to buy and sell, or sell, because I don't like working with buyers, people that want to sell every day. So you're prospecting, and you are prospecting expired. So expireds are not easy to talk to. But when you're able to engage them in conversation and handle their objections, set an appointment, they're way easier to list than a for sale by owner. FSBOs, they will not hang up on you so quickly as an expired will, but guess what? They are not easy to list. Expireds are easier to list right now. So you gotta be calling expireds. What difference does it make? I was talking about the agents that say, well, I don't have enough. Well, what difference does it make if you have 2 or 200? If you're not calling the 2 that you have, if you had 200, then you would call? Like, what? That makes zero sense. Well, however many you have, start where you are. Call the ones that you have. And then here's another thought. And I know most of you are not thinking this way, but some of you might be thinking this way. And this video will probably be going on my YouTube channel. So I know I'm not just speaking with all of you here in this training session today. I am speaking with a broader group of real estate agents. How about expanding the geographic area that you're searching for expireds? Because some agents, they will only look for expired listings within 10 minutes from their office. Okay, that's very limiting. Or 10 minutes from my home. I don't want to drive half an hour, 45 minutes. You wouldn't drive half an hour, 45 minutes to take a listing? I mean, I'd be doing that all day long, okay? How many can I go on? In fact, the average time for me when I was selling real estate, to me, driving 45 minutes was probably average each way to go take a listing. And I'm all over that. So you need to expand your geographic area, your search area, at least 45 minutes of your home or office. Why? Because that's going to give you more expireds and FSBOs too. I mean, we're talking about expireds today. And remember, expireds, It doesn't matter if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. I don't like making market predictions because things just change like that. And there's so much that we don't know that affects the real estate market, buyers, sellers, inventory, and all this stuff. So this is not a video about predicting the market. And quite honestly, I think it's a waste of time to try to predict buyer's market, seller's market when you're doing what you're supposed to do every day, when you're thinking like a top producing listing agent, when you have the skills. What difference does it make, buyer's market, seller's market? If you've been in both, you know that there are, in both markets, agents who succeed at a high level, who are selling a lot of homes, who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, or even millions of dollars a year, depending on your average price. So it's irrelevant. Quit worrying about that, okay? But the point is, buyer's market or seller's market, expireds are always out there. You may see more expireds in a buyer's market. Okay, great. In a seller's market, you'll still have expired listings. In one of the hottest sellers market this country's ever seen, in the early 2000s, I was selling real estate and I used to list about 50 expireds a year, 100 FSBO listings a year, and 50 expireds. More FSBOs because it was a hot market and more people feel like they can sell on their own. And it's not okay, I just have to say this. all of you know that I love both FSBOs and expireds. So I'm going to say something about FSBOs and then we're going to go into the expired objections. FSBOs can sell on their own. It doesn't matter if it's a buyer's market, hot market, seller's market. I don't care. Can they sell? Can a seller sell their home without a real estate agent? The answer is yes. Should they do that? If they're going to list with the average agent, maybe they should. But when they have the opportunity to list with a true, knowledgeable, professional, experienced real estate agent, that agent will benefit them financially, will net them more money. The average agent will not. The average agent will do what average agents do, which a lot of the things that they do, FSBOs can do. So it's not a matter of sell on their own or can they. Yeah, of course. Given enough time and a low enough price, anybody can sell just about anything. But is that in their best interest? Anyway, let's set that aside. Expireds are an incredible source of business. They're available in a hot market or a buyer's market. And all of you are experienced agents, the ones that I'm talking to right now, you right there, right? And you know that. So how do you handle expired objections? Well, before you could even handle an objection, before they give you an objection, I want to give you a little piece of like a skill that's really important. The most important thing with a new expired listing, and a new expired is someone who expired today. They're only new the day they expire. The day after, they're old already, okay? And new expireds are the hot prospects. New expireds are not happy people. If you've ever called a new expired, unless you're in an area where there's no real estate agents, you are one of very few agents and nobody else is calling expireds, well, then they may be happy people. In most areas, there are a certain group of agents that are calling expireds every day. Why is that? Because agents that are serious about growing their business understand that expired is the hottest lead you could talk to. New expired to go take a listing today. I already told you that. And you, all great experiences, you know that. So you're calling expireds every day. And there's a certain number of agents, depending on your area. Sometimes there could be hundreds of agents calling that same new expired listing within a couple hours in the morning. So the trick here is you have to be able to engage them in conversation immediately, because expired listings if you don't engage them in conversation, this call is going to be over within a few seconds. Okay. If they answer the phone, like, unless you're the first agent who called, okay, you're the first agent to call the day they expired, so they don't even know the listing is expired, which a lot of them don't. They're not keeping track of time. Their agent is not telling them, so they don't know. So you call them in the morning and they answer the phone, hello, and you go, oh, you start your dialogue and you tell them the listing just expired. Okay, they're fine. You know, they're normal. But when they've received calls from 10, 20, 30 agents, and now you're calling again, oh, the listing expired. I mean, how happy would you be in that situation? So in order to handle expired objections so you could set appointments, I mean, you're going to have to keep them on the phone here, you know, without them going, hey, you're the 30th agent who called me today. I'm not listing, click. Because that's really what they sound like most of the time, unless you're one of the few agents to call. So you need to remember to call new expireds. It's not just remember, right? You need to develop the habit and the discipline to call new expireds early on the day they expire. How early? I don't know how early. Go talk to your broker and find out how early you can call so you don't break any laws or rules in your office or whatever. But you need to be talking to them early, and you got to engage them in conversation. The single best way for you to very quickly engage them in conversation is mimic and match. And you mimic and match their rate of speech, their emotion, the volume of their voice. These are the three easiest ones for you to do. So what does it sound like? They answer the phone. Hello? And you go, hello, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. The volume, the rate of speech, the emotion. Why? Because people feel comfortable with people that sound like them. And you know that, okay? If you answer the phone for whatever reasons, your phone rings, it's a telemarketer. We all get so many of those calls, right? My cell phone is on the do not call list. It doesn't matter. I get telemarketer calls like almost every day. So my phone rings, I answer, hello. And they go, hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. It's like, I'm speaking fast. Maybe I'm rushed. Maybe I'm angry. You know, if I'm an expired listing, I'm not a happy person. And now I got this slow speaking person on the other line. I'm like, I have no patience for you. You sound like you don't know what you're doing. You're just the fact that they're not speaking like me, it's repelling. And the opposite is also true. If you answer the phone calmly and you go, hello, which is not likely from a new expired unless you're the first one to call, and they go, hi, this is Jackie. I'm like, you're gonna scare the heck out of them. You know, you're just gonna immediately be out of rapport, and they're likely to hang up. So for you to handle expired objections, the first step is for you to work on this mimicking and matching skill so that you don't get hung up on. Because for you to hear an objection, you got to keep them on the phone. And to be able to mimic and match effectively, you got to be listening intently, which is another problem because most real estate agents don't have their scripts internalized. So how can you listen to someone if you're reading a script or you're thinking about what you're going to say? It's not really possible. You know, listening requires you being 100% focused on the person you're talking to. So one of the most common expired objections is, I'm not selling anymore. Ooh, I love this so much. Because when you hear I'm not selling anymore, is this an objection or is it a condition? You know, a condition is something that you can't do anything about. If they're not selling anymore, it doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter how great an agent I am. It doesn't matter if I can sell the home. They're not selling, they're not selling. So is this a condition or an objection? You always assume that it is an objection. Always. Could it be a condition? Yes. But you have to assume it is an objection, because if you assume it's a condition, if you believe them when they say I'm not selling anymore, well, then this call is over. You might as well just hang up, because you don't think you're going to be able to set an appointment with somebody that doesn't want to sell. So you assume it is an objection. And how do you respond when they say, I'm not selling anymore? You're going to say, oh, okay. So you're just going to leave the house off the market then? That's one way of saying it. I'm going to just give you that one, okay? So when you rewind and you hear me say that again, I sound very like, it's okay. I don't care. It's fine. They want to keep it off the market. They are not selling anymore. I don't sound like I'm saying, I don't sound, my tonality is not one that causes them to feel like I'm cornering them or I'm going to pressure them. All of your experienced agents, you know that doesn't work. People, when they feel pressured, it doesn't matter if I mean to pressure them. If they feel pressured, they back off that situation. And what does that sound like? What does that look like when you're on a phone call and they back off? Well, they hang up. Or they say, I'm busy right now, call me another time, whatever. They'll give you an objection, they'll hang up and the call is over. So we wanna, when they say they're not selling, we wanna sound totally like, okay, no problem, no big deal. It's not what I said on the script, but that's the tone that I had, okay? And then you ask this question. So when do you think that you might put it back for sale? You ask that. Again, very casual, and they may say, well, I don't know. Or they may say in a month, in 6 months, in a year, in 2 years, or never. Their answer doesn't matter. You're going to ask the question. And then whatever they say, this is the key question you're going to ask. And Mr. Seller, real quick question. If you were absolutely confident that your house would sell, would you consider putting it back on the market now? That's it. Now, if you are absolutely confident, you better say that confidently. Because if you're absolutely confident, that doesn't sound confident. You want to make sure that what you say and how you say it match. Because that is a great question, because even though they said they're not selling, they may say they're going to maybe put it back on the market a year from now. When you ask this last question I gave you the right way, if this is a seller that has any interest in selling, and a lot of them do, they say they're not selling anymore because they're frustrated, they just wasted 6 months, they're getting a lot of calls from realtors, they're not interested in talking to one more real estate agent. So they may have every intention of listing the house with someone that same day, but they're saying, I'm not selling anymore just to get rid of you and end this call right now. So when you ask if you were absolutely confident your house would sell, would you consider putting it back on the market now? All of a sudden they go like, the way you're saying that causes them to think, maybe this agent knows something I don't know. Because if I was confident, or they may say, well, maybe, but I don't know how you could do that. I am not confident that it would sell. Of course, they wouldn't be confident. They already wasted 6 months and the house didn't sell. So, but it's gonna spark some curiosity, some doubt about why their house didn't sell, some interest. And it's going to keep them here in this conversation with you so you could set an appointment. Now, you're not going to do a presentation over the phone. If they say, well, how, I don't know what you mean. I'm really not confident that the house would sell. What exactly are you talking about? What do you do differently? You're not going to answer that right now. You're just, if they say that, you're going to say, that's a great question. And that's exactly why I'd like to meet with you for just 20 minutes so I can show you what I do differently to get houses sold in today's market. Would 3 o'clock work for you today? Would 4 be better? So you turn that into a close. And the truth is that different expired objections, some objections, I always say you don't handle objections over the phone. You're not going to tell them right here, right now, what you do differently and why you're confident. No, that's not the purpose of this call. Purpose of this call is to set an appointment. I know all of you know that. You're doing this every day, and you have the mindset of setting the appointment. So 99% of the time, you don't handle objections over the phone. Occasionally, you might have to when you hit a wall. There are times on a phone call when you hit a wall, meaning you know that they're about to hang up on you. This call is going to be over any second now, unless I say something here that really, like, the seller becomes so interested so you might have to say a little bit more than just repeat a proof ask question and close. But that's rare. And it needs to be an exception because we're not able to really effectively handle objections over the phone. The phone conversation takes a lot away from communication. They're not seeing you. There's no visual. Body language affects your tonality, but over the phone, everything, for you to come across powerfully, every communication skill needs to be magnified. Your energy, your passion and excitement, and everything has to be magnified, because otherwise you may sound like you're just, not really awake even. If you listen back to your prospecting calls. I remember when I started selling real estate and I used to listen to myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder I'm not setting any appointments. I mean, this sounds terrible. I wouldn't set an appointment with myself. So it takes a lot of skills over the phone. So you want to stay away from handling objections over the phone. And most of the time, the example I gave you of how to handle this most common expired objection can be a similar, obviously not the same exact conversation, because you got to use your common sense, and but doing some repeating and approving, asking a question that will get their attention, spark curiosity, close for the appointment. This is what you do most of the time with every objection. So you can get the appointment, and then you're going to pre-qualify, gather information, know what all the objections are. So when you go on the appointment, you could actually answer all of their questions, handle their objections, and take a well-priced listing. That's what we do. We're going to leave it here for today. We're going to do more of these training classes. We have an opportunity to talk a little bit more about expireds, because all of a sudden it's becoming a hot topic for a lot of real estate agents around the country. And I love expireds as much as I love FSBOs, because, hey, prospecting is about setting appointments and taking listings. And those are the two best prospects for you to do that every day. I know you know that. So